Fluffal it up versus the new Sword Soul Tenyi. Begin.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
We're going to be activating the bear. The bear's going to set a toy vendor from the deck, sure. And with the toy vendor, we're now going to be activating it to discard a card, draw a card, show if it's a Fluffal, you then get to special summon it. Wait, he's not done. He's going to banish a special summon a Fluffal from the hand. What the Dugars? We're going to go for a big draw 2. This is it. Activate. Draw 2. Discard a Fluffal, and we now have Ash Blossom. We do skip our next draw phase. Uh-oh. Vashuda off the top of the deck. We have Emergence searching our deck for nothing as we're going to attempt to negate it with the Ash. With our finger, we will be fingering the Ash. Negate. Is Pesh scooping it up, mate, or are we going to see this play through? Ash be gone. Search for our Mo Yi. Mo Yi on summon, reveal a worm or sword soul, summon a token. Now we scooping. Let's take this in a game. Number 2. All right, we have Imperm. We have Ash. Is that enough? We now have Polymerization to make plays with. Bear is going to be setting up the toy vendor again. With the toy vendor, we're going to be discarding to draw a card. Get rid of the other toy vendor, draw into a drone lockbird. We have to reveal it and then discard it if it's not a Fluffal card. What the heck? We had a discard, or we could discard anything. Discard the card you drew. Otherwise, discard. Oh my Jesus. We're going to Ash Blossom negate the Dolphin Mate. Send a Fluffal monster or an Edge Imp from your deck to the graveyard, which I'm sure we would have popped off from there. And now we have no play. Didn't even have to use the Impermanence. A single Ash stopping the Fluffal way. We have Monka Tenyi plus the Vessel. Now the Vessel has an additional effect here, right? It states that if you control a non-effect monster, you could also add from your deck a Tenyi in addition to sending a Tenyi from the deck to the graveyard, or it could be a worm. We're going to grab the Sithana. Sithana is going to special summon while we control no effect monsters. Saruya is going to summon as long as we control a worm, as we now have the Grandmaster summon. Grandmaster is going to be chain link blocked by the Saruya, which is going to summon a Link 4, I believe, from the extra deck. Now, the Link 4 states that your monsters cannot be targeted by card effects, cannot target effect monsters with card effects while you control a face-up non-effect monster. We're going to activate the other effect. What is that? To summon a non-effect token onto the field. Extra body. We're now going to Ashuna, someone from the deck. Does it copy the level, or is it always level 4? As we now have the Shaman of Tenyi, discard a card to reborn a worm from the engrave. It is always going to be level 4, whatever the token is. As we now Emergence, search our deck after Vashuda, bounces back the toy vendor to the hand. We're going to banish from engrave to summon a Protos. Protos declaring water. Water monsters now cannot be special summoned for the rest of the duel, as we have over 11,000 damage. Pesh, I really appreciate you for bringing Fluffals into the meta weekly, my friend. Unfortunately, Sword Soul was going off, popping like crazy. We had double disruption for the first turn. We had at least 2 disruption for the second. Let's hop into another match. Engraver searching. We do have a full loss ready. As we search for the track, Tract is going to be searching for not a Lurie, since we already have the Lurie in hand. We now have a Magical Musketeer, Starfire in hand here. We're going to full loss before the Lurie turns itself into a Requiem. As we're going to normal summon the Crimson Tear, send from the deck an Engraver, reborn itself from Engrave. Are we committing to the extra deck? We sequence into a Fusion Summon. That's a double draw. We are doing exactly that. Draw 1, and now the Ghost Bell can negate the sequence. But we did not even activate sequence. We activated the Tract Engrave. Maybe we should have activated sequence. They probably would have Ghost Spelled, and then we go into the Desiree afterward. But we would have to know that there's a Ghost Spell in their hand. Now, what did we accomplish here? We have the very special ability, which is rarely ever used. Target your level 7 or higher Fiendsmith monster, and then you get to non-target send cards on the field to the grave that are not that monster. Everything else in the field gets sent to the grave. Now, that's including your Link monster equipped onto it, which is giving the ability to negate anything on the field. So first, we have to non-target negate up to 2 cards. Then we could send every other card from the field to the grave. And if the Desiree sent to the grave, we could send a card in the field to the graveyard, but we don't have a way to pop that, do we? We have the Shavara, we do. We can target a fiend or a face down you control. So what we could do is pop the Desiree to then send a card from the field to the grave. We have triple disruption at least. Now, I believe only one of these effects can be used once per turn. You could use each effect once per turn. Hold up, so this is a double disruption if it's set on the field inactivatable. So we have send the field, plus send a card, plus send a card, plus negate a card, quadra disruption through a Full Lost draw 2. Let's be in. We're gonna Emergence, grab a Long Yun from the deck here. Long Yun, discard a Sword Soul or Worm, which is not negatable here through the Desiree, summoning a token onto the field. We're now going to send every other card in the field to the graveyard, but first, we are going to, on a higher chain link, negate the Dragon Cycle. Yes, so it does not send from the deck to the grave. What? We lose the sequence, though. Sequence, right? You chain 1, chain 2, send field, chain 3, negates, and then it negates, then it sends the field, but now we negate nothing? Okay, it's okay. We are going to Desiree doing nothing now, but we can Shavara, pop the Desiree to then send the Mo Yi or the token to the grave. What's good? Popping our own Desiree. Desiree will now get ready to trigger. Now, it's not actually Quadra Disruption because I overlooked the fact that this is a hard once per turn and Fiendsmith in Paradise can't trigger the Desiree twice in one turn. So it's actually triple disruption, and we lost one of them. We are still triggering the Fiendsmith in Paradise, but we can't send 2 bodies from the field to the grave. It's just gonna be 1. We're just gonna get the Engraver engrave, and just like that, it was enough to end their turn. Now, why didn't we activate the Flawless Perfection? It states that if your opponent special summons an effect monster while you control a face down or a non-effect monster, you get to draw 2 cards. Well, we got the Mo Yi on field here. We're going to be reborning the sequence through the effect of the Crimson Tear before they end their turn. Ash Blossom up the top of the deck. Engraver can get Ghost Spelled here, or we could wait for the sequence to then negate. We're going to be further linking this up into a Yama. Yama is going to be channeling blocks, setting from the deck, an Escape of the Unchained, grabbing an Aruha. We're now going to attempt to fuse Ghost Spell, negate the activation. And then we could follow from there, Aruha. Let's keep on going first into the Soul of Anguish, which could link off with the opponent's monster during your own turn. Into an Access Code Talker. The boost up to 5,300 attack. Do we have enough for lethal damage? Aruha does set a lingering effect here. You do want to be learning that. It states that you can only special summon for the rest of the turn Fiend monsters. Let's hop into game 2. That's only if you attempt to summon it from the hand. And then the Rakea is also a lock. For the rest of the turn, Fiend monsters, and it's not just a restriction on the extra deck, it's everywhere. Now, Tri-Brigade's restriction was not the Link monsters you summon, but the Link materials had to be Beast, Beast Warrior. You would think that maybe Malice should have some sort of restriction like that, where you could only use Malice monsters for Links. Wait. Oh, I thought Mo Yi drew the field, so I'm like, oh, that's not good. Okay, we're good. Whoops. Tenyi Infinity is going to be searching for the Vessel of the Dragon Cycle. And we have the Monk of Tenyi. We're now going to Vessel of Dragon Cycle, send from the deck of Tenyi, and search for a Tenyi. Let's now add Hara, special summon onto the field as long as we have no effect monsters on field. Ashuna, while we have a non-effect monster, summon from the deck of Tenyi, as we now make the Grand Master. Grand Master, searching our deck for a Blackout. We are now going to add Hara, add back a banished card to our hand. Ashuna is now here. Long Yun, discard the Ashuna, summon a token as we further turn this into a Chang Ying. Are we not going Protos? Did we didn't activate Emergence, right? We instead of searching for the Blackout, we could have searched for Emergence to then search for a Protos. But if we did not have a good way to get a light monster in the field to pop it, then I guess we did not prioritize the Protoss. Instead, we have Blackout pop 2 cards in the field. We have Grandmaster negate a monster. We have non-target banish a card. We have Call by the Grave Finger engrave, plus a Maxi. Now this is it. If the opponent special summons an effect monster, we get to draw 2 cards just once per turn, potentially drawing into more forms of disruption. Max C in the draw phase, called by the grave, finger the C. Negate. Can Magical Musketeer with Unchained and Fiendsmith play through Quadra Disrupt? We're going to Magical Musketeer into the Max. Now, Max loves cards on the field. It has effects depending on what you want to do here. If this card's linked summon, you can activate one of the effects. You could add equal to the number of monsters your opponent controls, or you could special summon equal to or up to the number of spell and trap cards they control. What are we doing? We are activating the effect to special summon from the deck, and we're going to, of course, Grandmaster Negate. And through that negate plus draw 2 mate, we don't even get to see if they're going to draw into potential more hand traps. Let's hop into game number 3. You know, damn, I guess we didn't want to play that out. Sure. We have Starfire into a Maxi. You try to finger that Maxi, then get to chain the Lancia. Some added benefit besides countering a Malice deck. What the heck happened? I guess that was the best I could do. Do we have any forms of disruption? If a card is destroyed, you can special summon this to then discard a card to then non-target pop a card in the field. That is, I believe, our only form of, well, we actually could summon a Crimson Tear, send a Paradise, which will give us double disruption. Double. Surely, Sword Soul could play through 2. We have Vishuda here, which is going to be threatening a card in the field. We now lose our Paradise. And I think we now don't have a way to trigger this. A card you control has to be destroyed to summon this. So our 2 disruption dead from a single Ash Blossom. Oh my Jesus. We are now going to add Adhara with the Vessel. Adhara is going to special summon itself onto the field. We're going to use Ashuna to banish and summon from the deck another Vishuda, as we're now going to turn this into a Baxia. Baxia is going to pop the Lancia to Reborn Engrave the Adhara, further going into the Chao Feng. Chao Feng it up. We are going to, when this card is synchro summoned on the field, your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters with the same original attributes as the Yangzing monsters used for the synchro summon, meaning you can't Nibiru. This is an anti-Nibiru play. If you're holding on to Nibiru or Effect Veiler, it's now dead. We now are going to Tenyi Spirit Chainlink block, draw a card as we search for the field spell. Come to us with the field spell, we could search for a Vessel. Oh, not a Vessel or the Heavenly Dragon Circle. And the Heavenly Dragon Circle could search for a Protos. Not enough for lethal damage, except we do have lethal damage. This thing has a double attack. While non-effect monsters face them in the field, you gain the effect of making a second attack, and not only onto monsters like a Tyrant. Oh my Jesus. Anti-Nibiru, set up the lethal damage. If not, we are going to be searching for Protos, lock out Malice from Dark. What's really unfortunate about Sword Soul Tenyi, which I think is holding it back from being much better, is Lancia. How could Lancia be affecting this? Well, if we're using Protos to counter Malice, and Malice uses Lancia on us, how are we going to counter Malice with Protos if we can't banish? Begin. Start this off with the Primate Roar. We have to control no monster to summon that Loki onto the field. Now we summon a Dry Ash activated to search our deck for the Sunvine Sowing. We have a Veiler and another Veiler, essentially, double monster negate, and the Teardrop is going to target a monster on the field, quick effect to tribute it. We're then going to, with the Sacred Tree, being able to, based off its materials, we're going to monster negate, and then we're going to use the Lancer, which is going to bounce a monster back to the hand. And in addition to that, we have a Princess in Graveyard, which states that when the opponent activates a monster effect, you're going to be able to tribute a monster to negate that effect. Now, we could tribute the opponent's monster, which could be counted as a separate disruption in addition to the monster negate. The ceiling is 7 disruptions. It's probably going to be about 6. Are you ready? Begin. I don't think Battlewasp is ready. Rebellion. Summon from the deck a Resonance Insect, then send it to the graveyard. Is that like a Tear Limit Grief? What the heck? Sacred Tree Beast with the monster. Negate. Resonance Insect attempting to add a level 5 or higher insect from the deck is gone. We're now going to commit to our normal summon into a Veiler Negate. Now, the Ghost Mourner only works on a special summon. It's not restricted to the main phase. It could also be used on your own turn. We're going to be Battlewasps summoning the Pin Bullseye. Burn for some damage here as we now make a Bee Trooper Armor Horn, which will allow us to additional summon the Resonance Insect. We're just going to bounce the Armor Horn back, and we're going to trigger the Resonance Insect again. It is not a hard once return on the search. We are in the damage step. What the heck is this? Onslaught. Onslaught activating. Discard. Princess is going to negate. So instead of it being a double disruption, it is just one. Negate and keep it in the hand. Mate. That's it, right? Now, Teardrop is going to get boosted. Mantis is going to keep on playing. We're going to special summon a Baby Mantis token onto the field. As the Petal is going to reborn during the end phase for some follow-up, as the Teardrop is now going to tribute off that token. Open field, ready for a lethal damage setup. What does the Onslaught do? Well, it does not matter because we're hopping into game number 2. Now, Battlewasp will go first. We're starting off with a normal summon Bee Trooper Assault Roller as the Battlewasp Wind is... Bro, what did we do? Target an insect with a level. This turn you could treat it as a tuner. What does the roller even do? The roller gets rolling. Okay, we have an Ash Blossom. Huh? I don't know, Bee Trooper. I don't know if we had anything. Lone Fire Blossom, attempt to summon for the deck. We are going to Ash Blossom, negate. And now we could follow up with a triple tactics talent. We're going to be going for a draw 2 play. Come to me. Off the top of the deck, we got Lordy Load into the Primite Roar. Uh-oh. Roar into the Loki. Into the Dryas. Dryas for the Sowing. You want to be ashing the Sowing. Attempted to summon the Twin. Twin is going to be reborn in the Loki. Also trigger the Dryas. This is a +3 body play if you don't ash the Sowing, mate. Let's further go into the Jasmine. Twin into another Dryas. Loki into the Healer. Heal. Trigger the Jasmine. Search our deck for a plant. We have Mudan. Tribute off a monster we're pointing to, summon for the deck, a Lone Fire, jump off, summon for the deck, a Ragnarok Evil Seed, as we're going to be searching our deck and banishing the Butterfly. What? Hold up. When an insect monster's effect is activated, that was your insect, I could special summon this card. Then, if you activated this effect in response to your opponent's effect activation, negate that effect. Also, until the end of your next turn, after this effect resolves, you cannot special summon except insects from your extra deck. Wow, we're not going to be drawing during the end phase now. Beetle is here into the Skeletal Soldier. We're going to be using the Beetle to return the Lone Fire into the field, activate again to summon a Petal. Petal searching for the Snowdrop. We're going to Skeletal Soldier, reborn from Engrave the Evil Seed. We're going to be making the Rosemary to banish the Assault Roller off the field here. As we tribute off a monster for our Mudan, searching for the Con-Con. Con-Con is going to be searching our deck for a Glamour. Glamour is going to be tributing off our Mudan to grab a Princess and a Primula. Primula is going to trigger because our own monster was tributed. Otherwise, if we tributed their monster, it would not have triggered. We're going to grab a Shrena. Shrena is going to add from Engrave a Plant back to our hand mate. As we're now going to Snowdrop, tribute off the opponent's monster to summon the Lone Fire for what? The third freaking time here? We're activating its effect into another Lone Fire. Lancer is now activating. This is a super DD Crow, right? During the main phase, quick effect, target an insect in your graveyard and one monster in your opponent's graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand. If you do, place the targeted monsters in the bottom of the deck. We're going to Princess, negate, not today, mate. If this card is summoned, you could then add a Bee Trooper Spell Trap from your deck to your hand. As we are now going to special summon. If you do, place targeted monster at the bottom of the deck. And yep, that's too much for us to deal with. 2-0, Plant defeating